Hello, my dear friends. I hope that today is finding you time outside because, man, I don't know where you are in the world right now, but where I am, it is a glorious spring day. A little sun is showing itself, which is always wonderful. I always am happy to see that. And I found a lovely little thicket where I could tell that the deer have been hiding out. I just thought, man, look at this cute little cave. So I just came in. Isn't that fun? So today, I hope that this week was good to you. I hope that you began to think a little differently about your circumstances and potentially considered the opportunity to transmute your grief. I know that we are all worried about our situations and we're all concerned about what our lives are going to be like after this is over, and we're probably already, many of us, worried about what life is like right now. I would propose to you that I hope that you will find within yourself a sense of calm there and realize that we don't control the situation. And for this moment, if you are safe, be thankful. And if you are not safe, trust that we will get through this, that one way or another, humanity will find a way through. And if you're suffering a loss of someone you love, the worst has already happened and you are still here. That may sound a little harsh, but I've been through my own losses in my lifetime, some very hard ones, and I got through them, and you will too. I've had some very dire circumstances that I've survived in my lifetime, stories that I don't care to tell anymore because they no longer serve me, they no longer are part of me. I've let them go. In a sense, I've transmuted them into art. And I have chosen to allow those circumstances to inform my future in terms of what I do not want. We can do the same right now. We can choose what we do want when this is over, because that's the beauty of having a creative mind. All humans have one, and I don't believe in anybody's life being a waste or anything that shouldn't happen. We need all kinds of humans to make this world go round. Some of us are lessons that the rest of us need to get over, and some of us serve that lesson at any potential time. I mean, I've done things, you've done things that we are not proud of, that we're not kind, that we're not appropriate, that we're not thoughtful or compassionate, and those are lessons that I need to accept and take responsibility for. And if I do that, I feel that in my own way, I'm doing what I can to heal the circumstances that I may have created in someone else's life that meant for them a difficult time that they had to get over. We're all serving a lesson in some way, shape, or form. We are all experiencing something we need to understand and know. And I really believe that we are all here right now to understand something, to learn something, to create something new. Because I believe we all know deep down the world is not okay. The lives that we've created have not largely made most of us happy. Most people are not happy. Most people aren't enjoying their lives. They are running from one second to the next, from one experience to the next, where they're running errands, they're going to jobs they don't like, they're having troubles with people that they care about, there's too much drama, there's too much grief, there's too much suffering. Not enough people have what they need. We see this as problematic in our world, and we can fix that. We can choose something else. So what are you going to choose? I think that leads me then to the prompt for today. Choose anew. Anew, A-N-E-W, anew. Choose anew. Because we can. Because that's possible. We are not going to have to live like this forever. We're not. But what's exciting is that maybe we'll get to live a new life that potentially could mean a lot of good things are going to happen for a lot of people who deserve better. Imagine if that could be our future. And if you can imagine it, it's possible. And I don't mean that if you sprinkle fairy dust, that's just going to come out of the woodwork. But what I do mean is, if you see it in your mind's eye, that means you have the potential for figuring out a way to make it real. You can start taking steps in the right direction. What are you able to do right now in your life that can create a new life? What could you do right now to lift yourself up, to make yourself happier, to bring yourself closer to people that you love and miss, to have more abundance in your life? Could you start growing some vegetables? That would be abundance, wouldn't it? Could you start figuring out creative ways to make money online? That would create abundance, wouldn't it? Could you figure out how to share things that you have and you don't need with other people? And then they can share things that they have and they don't need with you. Wouldn't that be abundance? It's all around you. Wouldn't it be a beautiful thing if you created a network of neighbors who helped each other by shopping for each other so that you reduce your exposure if you have neighbors that you trust and can do that with, or just friends? A network of people who go shopping for each other to reduce your exposure of time out in the world where you might get exposed to the virus? Imagine. What is possible? I mean, there's already this sort of thing happening. What could you do right now, in this moment? Could you start making art? Could you start playing music and dancing every day? Could you imagine something else that could potentially bring you some happiness or some fun or some relief? Could you start meditating every day? Could you start exercising at home? What could you do? What can you create to make a new life right now that you can commit to keeping even when we have to go back to work? If you have a job to go back to, which may be scary, and yet it might get you to start thinking creatively about what else could you do that would make your life better, that you would have as a thing to look forward to. What does that look like to you? If you could have anything you wanted, what does that look like? Maybe it's time to start writing about it and imagining it, challenging yourself to think about how can you make that your life. We love to think in limited terms because the world believes, well, the world presents to us a situation in which our lives are limited, but we are only limited by our thoughts. We've gone to the moon. Human beings figured that out. Look at the technology. We can talk to each other like Star Trek on phones in real time, anywhere in the world. I spoke to somebody in India earlier this week. Several people in the Middle East, actually, all over the world. I was talking to people from all over the place on the phone. Come on. That's science fiction, and it's now real. What's possible? Start thinking about that and create anew. This is your challenge. And I will see you next week, my dear friends.